Hi, welcome to Market Chat with Brenda and Lori. I'm Brenda Alfano, Capstone Home Loans. I'm a mortgage advisor, and this is
I'm Lori Da Silva. I'm a real estate agent and I work for Remax Elite in Linwood, Washington.
so Lori. This the time to check into what's going on with the market, I think, and let people know what's updated. I think we did one a few months ago, so things
Yes,
keep changing.
they change every day. I will say Snohomish County, that's primarily where I work, I'm seeing an increase, a slight increase in listings the last few weeks. Although listings are, inventory is low. So we are still low inventory. But some of the reasons that I'm finding that sellers are starting to list their homes are I see a lot of downsizers. They don't want the maintenance on their home. I've seen people who need larger homes, so they're upsizing. I've had people move out of state or move closer to family. And investment homes. I've seen a few people buying investment homes, so
I'm sorry, you've seen an uptick a little bit in investment homes.
yes,
We had a little bit of a lull, I think, there for a while because
yes,
they hit the interest rate on that one pretty hard. So it was
that's correct.
not as inviting to people to buy an investment home with those
Correct.
because they can't make the money
Right.
on the rate of return, right?
That's right.
So how would you say buyers are feeling about the current market right now? Are you seeing multiple offers? What are we seeing?
Yeah. So I am seeing multiple offers and it is really area specific. I've seen anywhere from 4 offers to 17 offers, but very neighborhood specific. So there are buyers that they still need to buy a home. And the other thing, as far as the feeling, what are my buyers feeling? My buyers are looking for homes that, they want a particular type of home and they're willing to take the time to look for it. So I think they're not panicked. It's not like, oh, I have to get into a home. I'm going to get into this one, but they are really taking their time and looking for a home that suits their needs.
And
So
I think we were talking about that just yesterday. That I think that buyers just seem to be a little bit more intelligent right now about the buying process, about what their level of comfort is of going over
yes,
the asking price. They still might be going over the asking price, but
correct.
we have seen times in our careers where it got a little bit insane.
Yes.
Still going to be some of that, like you said, area specific, but
Right.
I just feel like my buyers are more, they're just a little bit more, they're cautious and they're realistic, but they're not crazy kind of a thing. Not that you're crazy if you pay more. I'm just saying that you do need to make sure you're not paying too much more because it does still need to appraise.
That's correct. I've seen in Snohomish County, list to selling price is I think 1.6% above list price.
Okay.
So that's not crazy like it had been.
Oh, gosh, I
previous.
remember. Oh, gosh. We
Yes.
saw some for 200,000, 300,000 over asking price.
Right,
Really
right.
insane stuff on not houses that were that expensive.
I know.
I remember that one in particular. I was like,
Yes.
oh my God. So I just want to touch real quick on, we still have a lack of inventory.
Correct.
How much longer do we anticipate seeing that?
I think that's going to continue. I haven't heard until, there's only so much land, right? And builders can only, build so much per year. From what I understand, building is actually slow right now.
Right.
So I think we will continue to see low inventory.
Yeah. And I don't think any of the people we listen to that guide us in this world think any differently.
Correct.
So you're not going to get a bust when there's no inventory.
Right.
So, but there's still people thinking that. So
my question to you is, what are you seeing in interest rates? Because I get asked that all the time and I always refer people to their lenders because you hear that information. Yeah, daily. Yeah.
All the time. Well, it's been so interesting because we'll get a nice little boom, meaning lowering of interest rates a little bit. And then we'll suddenly see several days of, oh my God, where did that go? And they'll go back up again. Now, I'm not talking a whole percent, but it makes a big difference in our price points that we're dealing with usually. A lot of our clients are anywhere from $5 to $1 million homes that they're buying in the loan alone. And so that amount, and it's not, and I've said this before, and I'll just say it again, that it's not the rate that actually goes up, it's the cost of the rate that goes up. So do you want to pay 2 points for that same rate? A day ago, it was a
Right.
1.5 or even just a point.
Right.
So it's very mercurial on a daily basis. So most of the time now, once we're in contract, we try to lock pretty rapidly.
Right.
Because we just don't know what's gonna happen. I had that happen to somebody, they just like, well, I just want to keep waiting. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
And yeah, it burnt them it bit them in the bottom, not
Right.
hugely, but a little bit. And so,
I was going to ask you also, what are some other lending trends that you're seeing now? As far as,
one thing that we see, is the trend is a much tighter, underwriting restrictions.
right,
Not that it's been rampant and some crazy world going on out there,
Right.
but I know that, we were talked to from American Pacific Mortgage, who is our company that we work under,
Mhm.
that because they're high in touch with Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae, and that, income calculation is a huge
Right.
thing right now.
Right.
Huge. So we're asking for pay stubs up to the minute, and they're really scrutinizing how they're doing income calculation. Freddie Mac just came out with something the other day, like if you work more seasonal work, or say you're in construction or something like that, where one
Right.
year is different from the other. And last year you made more money and this year you're making less.
right,
Or if you had 2 years of making less, it's just, and you're not working a total of 40 hours. I mean, they're going to really have to see all those years of income, and then they're gonna do an average.
Right.
So, which sometimes seems unfair, but in those worlds, it
right,
doesn't. And you can't even go there with fairness and mortgages. It's about,
Yeah.
this is what they require, so this is what we do.
Mhm.
Luckily here, I'll just mention briefly, here at Capstone American Pacific Mortgage, we have so many products and so many lending options that aren't necessarily in the box. So we
Right.
have some out of the box options for people. So that's really nice that we can, if it's not working here, often we can make it work over here.
Right. And I appreciate that because we're working as a team to really get somebody into a home, and how are we going to do that?
Right.
And I think it takes a team of people
Oh,
to
absolutely.
to
And,
accomplish that.
I have to, a transaction I was just working on was a manufactured home on land,
Uh-huh.
which is usually not a big deal, but
Yeah.
this one was, anyway, we had to switch lenders.
Oh,
Switch programs. We had to go from a traditional mortgage with Fannie Mae and switch it to the out of the box lender. So it
right.
took a whole nother month to do this. And if it hadn't been for the team, including
Mhm.
the listing agent, my buyer's agent, myself, the client, it definitely took a village to get this transaction closed. But
Right,
we all
right.
worked as a team, kept communicating, and got it done.
Right.
Because didn't we have that conversation yesterday about
We did.
communication?
Communication is
so
important.
important. And as long as you're communicating, usually everybody is happy. But
Right.
if I'd been at another company, and I'm not trying to just tout our horn, but it just makes a big difference to
Right.
have other options.
Right.
So I think that's a word of caution maybe for the buyers who go to the online lenders
Mm-hmm.
that have one box. I'm not saying they all do, but
Right.
they maybe can't go anywhere else. And so that transaction would have died. In my case,
Right.
it just would have died. None of them, they wouldn't have been able to buy that house. So
Yeah.
it's nice to have that.
Well, I didn't have a lot more to say today other than, this market is changing constantly. Numbers change, like the average or the medium sale price. That changes weekly. It's bounced between, mid sevens to mid eights, and it's up and down all the time. But I say, get yourself a team that is really going to do the research on the market and keep you posted. And same with the lender, that's part of your team, so that you can stay on top of what the trends are right now. So,
And for people who are wanting to downsize, upsize, whatever it might be, sell, and they're letting the interest rate that they got 2-3 years ago
right,
make them a captive of that home when they maybe don't even love that home, or that home's not working for them anymore.
right.
Try to get past that. It's a momentary thing, as we saw.
Mhm.
If you can afford to buy another home, do it.
Right,
That's what I gotta say about that. Don't let that interest rate guide your entire life. It's important. I'm not gonna say it's not important.
right,
But if you
right,
can afford it, rates will go up, rates will go down, and you may move again. So then
That's
have
true.
you'll have a different rate anyway. So
right.
don't let that tie you down, I think is the
I
lesson to be
agree.
taught these days.
I agree with that.
Anything else you want to add?
I think that's it.
Well, great, thanks for joining us.
Thank
And
you.
next time, we hope to, our plan is to have an appraiser to talk to
Right.
us, and we'll do a couple of videos with him. Excited about that, so
Yes.
please tune in for that one, because there's a lot to learn about knowing about appraisals on property. Thanks,
Thanks. Bye.